Today we are doing session 1 of live trading with Greg Secker. What I'm going to be doing is showing you how I use the strategies embedded within SmartCharts. So today, and ideally, it is 180 phase changer time. So 180 phase changer is a trading strategy. Now, one of the beauties of SmartCharts is it shows you precisely how the strategy works, which I'm now going to show you on my screen. So you get a real good understanding of what the strategy is all about. Then I'm going to flip into SmartCharts, which actually I'm already in because the videos are played within SmartCharts quite cleverly. That's why we call it a transformational trading platform. Shows you what to do in the platform, and then you literally do it in the platform. So that's quite a magical process that we had as the original design when we built this. So I'm now going to jump onto the screen. I'm going to show you the 180 phase change, just show you how it works, show you what we're trying to do, and then I'll go ahead and do it. So let's just jump into that right now. If you look at this video, I'm now going to play you.
SmartCharts identifies the following conditions. For a long setup, the strategy requires the 8-period moving average to be above the 20-period moving average as further confirmation of a bullish trend. There should be a ring low bar pattern that is 2 consecutive bars with a lower low and a lower high on the second of the 2 bars.
So just to be really clear, what I'm doing there, what the video says there is we're looking for an uptrend. We're looking where the price has pulled back. So that's 2 red bars consecutively. And then that sets up the entry price, the stop loss, and the profit target. You're now going to watch that on the video. Let's just jump back to that.
The entry price would then be 1 pip above the high of the previous bar, with a stop loss 1 pip below the low of the previous bar, and with a target level of 1-to-1 reward to risk. These are the strategy defaults. Your order will be placed as a no expiry order. This means this will stay as a pending trade until you cancel it manually, or the trade is triggered by reaching your entry price. If a new seller's bar goes on to form without triggering the entry level, then we can simply cancel the order as the buying momentum we were forecasting hasn't presented itself. If the new seller bar goes on to form another ring low setup, it will generate another signal, and we can update our trade and buy at a better price.
Now, what that video is really telling you is we're in an uptrend. Now, markets don't continue moving in one direction forever. That's ridiculous. Markets follow patterns of nature. Markets move in phases, and markets move in cycles. So effectively, we have this phase 1, phase 2 arrangement where a market moves up with the trend, then pulls back to a median line, to a moving average, to an average center of price action, and then it should bounce back and then continue moving upwards. So if you think of it like in a kind of a biological sense, it's markets breathe in and markets breathe out. And what the 180 phase changer cleverly is trying to do is capture the market moving up, breathing back down, so 2 consecutive seller bars, meaning there's some selling, some profit taking happening in the market. And then for the resumption of the buyers coming back into the uptrend, you're then trying to buy that as it breaks the high of those previous selling bars to get you back into that new phase 1 movement. So it moves up, drops down, and then when it corrects itself again and comes back up, you're trying to capture that momentum. Benefit of that means that your stop loss puts you in a place where you're risking very little and you're capturing early momentum back into that end of that trough movement, that phase 2 movement, the resumption of the uptrend. So you're getting in early, and the key to buying anything, whether it be property, stocks, bonds, futures, is to buy early at the right price. If you do that, you can then really sell at any price, as long as it's a bit above where you got in, and you can make a profit. If you buy late, if you're late into something because you're relying on emotions, you're onto a loser all the time. So this clever strategy keeps you safe, gets you in early, and then sets you up for a profit. So that's how, and I just wanted you to see that. I want you to see the video in SmartCharts, because what SmartCharts done, after it builds you all up and gets you clear on the technical environment of the trading system, it then shows you all of the trading strategies in a real step-by-step format. So this is obviously a long and a short strategy, meaning we can capture momentum moving up and we can capture momentum moving down. This obviously is for momentum moving up. This is a buying strategy. I placed a trade on this yesterday, which I'm in, triggered this morning. So I thought I'd now show you that trade so you can see exactly how it works. You've seen how the setup works. We're looking for those 2 pullbacks and then jumping back in. Let's jump now to the screen. So I'm now going to come out of the Learn area and I'm going to go to Charts. You can see that here. And you can see I'm in sterling CAD, so this is the British pound against the Canadian dollar. So let me just show you the entry of this trade. So I'm up 8,502 currently. The take profit is 172.99. The buy entry was 171.38, and the stop loss there is 169.98. So that position will run now for me automatically until it reaches completion at the green dot. Now, if I want to change that trade, if I'm not happy and I think it's probably going to top out before then, I can simply click on these, any of these orders, which is the take profit, the buy entry, or the stop loss, and now I can simply amend them. So you'll notice here that I am trading with 25 lots. I am looking to make a profit of 23,386. But I'll notice, if you notice on that green spot there, that is going to be there for an all-time high recently, certainly a recent all-time high. And I might decide, actually, I want to be a little bit more aggressive and take my profit off the table rather than leaving it to get to a place it may never get to. So if I wished to if I wished to adjust my take profit, I can now simply drag this. You'll see the numbers change on the screen as I am dragging that. And I can be a little bit keener and bring it down and say, well, I'm happy with a profit of 15,000 here. And if I then hit the tick box, which is now bottom right, I've adjusted my take profit. That order is now updated. If you look, I've added the ATR 10. That's the average true range indicator. What does that tell me? Well, it tells me the average range of that currency price range movement over a period of 10 periods. In this case, a period is a day, is a daily chart. So over the last 10 days, it is telling me that this indicator has moved around. If I now change my, my grab tool to a crosshair, and I put my crosshair over here, we can see that way back here in October, this currency was moving something like 208 points. Okay, now over the last month or so, it's now moving around 108. So it's halved its volatility in the last month. That means sterling, you can see that back here, it was moving around very volatile. Down here, it's still quite volatile, but as things have moved along, price ranges have started to reduce, and that means there is less confidence in that direction. But let me just show you that. Let me just draw a trend line of that. You'll see, look, if I take it from that high point there down to here, you can see we've gone from average volatility of around 208 pips a day. That's 208 pips that currency pair has moved around on a daily basis back in October, a month ago, to where we are today in November, where volatility is down to 100 pips. So volatility across November right now is half of what it was in October. What does that mean? Well, that might now be indicating that this currency has or is starting to top out. We're not getting the big pushes that we got back in October, and it could now be starting to fade. So to protect myself from potentially losing out on this trade, my stop loss is in a sensible place. I've moved my take profit closer to where I got in. So I aren't going for the 26,000, but I am going for 15,000. All I've had to do is move the flags to adjust it based on that trend of volatility sort of easing up. And that makes my trade safer, and it gives me a greater probability of banking a profit. And I've still got a very acceptable reward to risk for this type of position. So that is a 180 phase changer. I've shown you the video of how to get into it. I've shown you me placing the trade, or actually I placed the trade already. I'll place another one now so you can see it. And now I've showed you some trade management based on intel that SmartCharts is informing me about what is happening to this trade as it's in play. I think what you're going to love about SmartCharts is it doesn't just show you the whole environment you're trading in the platform, but it shows you the strategy, step by step by step, how the strategy works. And then it's got some amazing reference tools which give you a really strong indication as to how well the trade is going to play out. So your trade risk management and your trade playout management is managed to perfection. So that trade is now running. I can now leave that trade. If I go to trades, I'll show you where it sits. It's obviously open. If I click on that trade here, SmartCharts is bright enough to then show you exactly where you got in the trade, which of course was here, how much profit you're in, and the trade is running. I can close that trade, and if I hit take profit, it would take the trade off the table. Not going to do that. I'm going to let this position run, but that is where the trade management is. Any pending trades are in here. There's another one from yesterday. That's another Aussie yen trade that I placed on the daily chart. If I click on that, it will also show you that trade. So I've got my stop loss, my sell entry here. Hasn't quite hit that sell entry. It's not far from it. That trade could trigger at any time. Do like the look of that trade, and that should run well. So again, That stop loss is up there at 74.12. So of course that is a short trade, meaning when the position falls, I look to make a profit for it falling until I take the profit there at 73.27. Let me now walk you through exactly how I go about placing a 180 phase change of trade. I just want you to understand also, even though I'm trading on a laptop, I know many of you love to trade using multiple screens. You can see behind me my other trading terminal back there. My screens are reversed, so I can, whilst I'm doing this instruction, if I want to look at any positions I'm in at any time, I only need to turn around and I can see them. Other than that, when I'm sat back there, I can see all my screens. Now, some of you may wish to use SmartCharts and have it sprayed across many screens. Dead easy to do. In fact, SmartCharts can run up to about 100 screens simultaneously. I think you'd be a bit of a madman if you did run 100 screens simultaneously. People do that, though, I'm told. But it's quite common for people to run anywhere in the neighborhood of 12 to 18 screens. So if you wanted to do that, it's really, really simple. This screen, for example, this sterling CAD screen, all I hit is this icon here, which is this icon with a square box with an arrow to the right-hand corner. That will then pop that screen out, and I can now push that screen anywhere I want it to go. So I could then drop that onto another screen I may have attached to this laptop. In fact, some of you who are intrepid traders on the move will be using some new technology we are going to be releasing shortly, which is a cover for your laptop where you can pull out 2 extra screens. So you have 3 screens simultaneously on the move. Very cool piece of software. If you're interested in that, leave me a comment in the comments field. Leave me a note in the comments and I'll tell you how you can get hold of one of those screens. They're really cheap. You can slide it onto a Mac or a PC and you can then pull out extra screens and you've got 3 screens on the move. Anyway, so that's how you would do that. So I'm going to close that screen now. And I'm going to go back now. So now I'm going to use this middle icon, which then shrinks the screen down and lets me see all of my positions that I'm looking at simultaneously. But I'm actually going to now go to another 180 phase changer so you can see how this works. And I'm going to show you exactly how I get into this position, how I scan, and how I place the trade. So we know 180 phase changes. I'm going to change my arrow tool to a grab tool. That means I can move my chart around however I like. This is one of the beauties of SmartChart that really allows you full flexibility. Some people like their data displayed exactly how they like it. I am that kind of cat. So having a grab tool allows me to move my data around and have it just how I want to see it. So how do I get into a 180 phase change? Well, I go top right of the screen, which pulls out the strategy scanner, allows me to see all of the strategies I'm looking at simultaneously. I'm not going to confuse you today with looking at all sorts of different strategies. I really just want to focus on the 180 phase changer, which you can see here. And there is the list of currencies. Now, on that list of currencies, bubble sorted, that's a mathematical term. Bubble sorted means that the currency pair which closely matches that strategy is bubble to the top of the list. The one that's weaker than that slightly is lower. And of course, right at the bottom of the list is the currency pair which really doesn't match the strategy right now whatsoever. So the best example, your best bet, if you will, or your currency pair most closely matching this strategy in today's example on a 4-hour chart here is the euro against the Canadian dollar. So let's click on that and it'll bring up the chart of the euro against the Canadian dollar. Now if you're a beginner, you might be wondering, what do I do here? Do I buy? Do I sell? What's the story? And this is a classic example. If you're not sure and you've never used SmartCharts for the first time, the trick always is to look at the red and the green button and which one is glowing. So you can see the red button that is glowing here. If I just leave my mouse off it, you can see that pulsing movement of red tells you this is a short strategy. If you aren't clear about that, just looking at the screen, you'll see the red fading background is indicating you should be going short on this position. Now, this is a nice looking trade. I looked at this earlier this morning. Why is this so good? Here's why. You've got amazing time frame correlation. You've got moving averages moving down. You'll notice, watch as I now move my mouse across the screen. So you'll see the market falls and then it resumes back to the moving average. Then it falls and then it moves back to resumes back to the moving average. And then you can hear the pattern. It should now be looking to fall. And if you look closely here, and I'm going to kind of enlarge this so you get a real good view on this. There we go, like that. There we are, perfect. So if you'll look here, there's 3 dots. The red the blue, and of course the green. Again, we're just nipping in, grabbing a sexy little profit that is really lined up for us. We've got a nice overextension bar here, which means that the buying pressure back to the mean is drying up. Again, volatility is reduced, no problem whatsoever. So all I'm going to hit now is the red glowing button, which will bring up that 180 phase change. It'll give me those three orders again, the entry, the stop, and the take profit. So I'll hit that. And you can see, look, it's saying sell entry at 146.17. Again, 25 lots. I've got a stop loss at 146.32, which is here. And my take profit is literally 15 pips below at 146.01. Really like the look of that trade. If I'm a betting man, which of course I am, the probability of that being successful is very high. This is a very successful strategy. You can see the one previous was successful. Wouldn't have taken these ones because they weren't at the right stage of the cycle. I want it coming back to the moving average as it does here. This will very likely be repeated. So I'm going to okay that, and I'll just hit the green button here. If I want to adjust this at all, I can. If I wanted to take a little more profit, I can just click on that and drag that down and get myself to about 2,800. I think that's safe. My stop loss, if I wish to amend that, I can move that just ahead of those moving averages. That can give me a little more protection. And then if I hit the green button, those numbers have now all been changed in the order ticket for me. I'm now using reduced risk, and I hit confirm, and that trade is now placed. It hasn't activated in the market yet, of course. It won't do that until the price breaks through this level of 146.17. You can certainly see the price right now is 146.41. So it's got about 25 pips to run until it enters into that position. If it does, then we will be short and we will look to collect profit when we get just south of the green dot. So that Euro CAD is now placed. So today we've looked at the 180 phase changer. I hope that's been really helpful. You've seen how I select a trade. I've showed you, I started off by showing the video so you can see the training on it for both a long and a short trade. I showed you the 180 phase changer that triggered yesterday that's currently in play. That's happily moving along into about 7,000 to 8,000 pounds of profit. We'll take that off the table when it hits 15,000. We also looked at the change of the average true range and how that can indicate that maybe some of that price range movement is shortening down. So get a little bit more aggressive, take that trade off the table when you're ready. We also looked at placing another trade, which was a Euro CAD on the 180 phase changer. I hope you found this really useful. I'm going to be doing a number of these from the live trading sessions with Greg from my trading den here at my home in the UK. If you have any questions, any feedback, any comments, please do leave them below the video, and I look forward to seeing you on another one of the live trading sessions with Greg.